Hi, how are you? Hi, good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Okay. We're going to give everyone, they still have 2 minutes till everyone is going to get here. So if you have any questions or you want to take a minute and share something about what brought you here today, I'm here and you're here. So feel free to ask me anything you'd like. Okay. I'll take 1 minute and go over my notes and we're gonna get started. Give everyone a few minutes to get on. So if you don't have water, now is a good time to go get some water and we will get started momentarily. Hello, everybody. Hello, Julia. Hello, Shlomit. Just letting people into the room. Welcome, everybody. If you have any questions, or you know what, I would love it. We have somebody who is a Zoom user. Can we send them a message to find out who they are? Hmm. A minute. Okay, I don't know who Zoom user is. We can't let people in if we don't know who they are. Unfortunately, too many accounts are getting hacked. Hopefully that person will send me a message. Okay. So do me a favor, guys. I'd love to get to know you a little bit. We're really talking about super important things today. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do is to turn off your videos, if that's okay, and to write in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself if you want. And let's start with the chat first, because we have a lot of people coming in. So let's start with the chat. Tell me where you're from, and if you feel comfortable, what's something that brought you here today? Why did Rise call out your name? Is it that where you're located in the world? Are you here in Israel with me? Are you in the UK? Are you in France? Are you in the US? Like, where are you? And is it the war? Is it personal struggles? Is it like everything all together, like it is for most of us? Um, let me know where you're at so I give a good feeling of where we're sending this today. Might be my realness. Well, thank you very much, Esther. Okay. Veyako, so some people from Israel. I know a few of you guys already from Israel. So we shall see. Okay. Just double check that. Hold on. Someone's trying to get in. Okay. See if someone sends in a message. And in the meantime, we're going to make sure that everything else is muted. Struggling to keep myself accountable. Florida needed a dose of connection today. Renana, Israel, struggling with food. Okay, good. This is, I mean, not good that we're struggling, but you're not alone. We are all in this together. Another person joining us. Hi, everybody. So if you didn't answer yet, make sure that your video is off, and that you're going to put in the chat where you are in the world and what brought you here today. Why do you feel like you need to rise? So here's our agenda for today. We're gonna work together. I'm gonna share some of my absolute best tips on how to handle what's going on in terms of our immune system, in terms of the long-term impact of this stress on our body and our health, and how we can not allow it to escalate and escalate and escalate till we have health crises happening over our community. And so we have to take personal responsibility for ourselves, for our families, and we are no way any of us are doing this alone. We got to do it together. And we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to do a fun project where we're all together going to make a list of 3 things. Things we want to stop doing, things we want to start doing, and things we are already doing that we want to be doing more of. And we're going to work on that together. So we have something very practical you're going to take away. And then I'm going to tell you about my Rise coaching program. I'm going to tell you why I created it and what's happening with it now. And 3 things you should know if you stay to the end. Number 1 is it's month to month, which is something I've never done in my coaching experience ever, because usually you really need to make a commitment in order to see change. But right now, I can't tell you what my plans are for next Shabbos, like where the world is going to be 5-6 days from now. How could I possibly ask anyone to commit to any huge length of time when we're all in the moment dealing and rising together? So every month you can make a decision to stay, to go, and to continue for the next period of time. So that's how that's going to work. So don't feel any pressure. Enjoy, get everything that you can. And if you choose to stay, which I hope you will, to hear about the Rise project, then I'm excited to have you. So I always feel that whenever we have struggle and challenge, we know that there's the fight, flight, and freeze response. And we've all been experiencing an incredible amount of challenge. Was anybody here, please put in the chat a 1. If you were being challenged in your personal or professional life before the war. Okay, so if you were being challenged already before this happened, please put a 1 in the chat. Okay, right? I'm not alone. It wasn't just me. I was certainly being challenged. It's been a very challenging 6 months. And if you were already struggling with making good, consistent choices with your nutrition and your fitness before the war, with the amount of stress and environmental pressures and environmental availability of food to where you are, if you were already struggling, put a 2 in the chat. You were already struggling with food before this happened. Not just me. So what are we going to do? We were already struggling. And then this, it's enough to make you want to give up. Or it's enough. Well, I'll put it in this way. One of the coolest things is a catapult, right? Like if you have a little rock and you put it on the catapult and it goes down, 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 it'll fly. But the heavier the rock, the farther it will fly. And sometimes we don't have enough weight on why this is so important. Because when we're struggling a little bit, we're like, okay, I'm doing everything I reasonably can. Things are very stressful right now. I'm drinking some water, eating some vegetables every single day. I am going to maybe walk or do some form of exercise some days in the week. And that has to be good enough because there's so much on my plate. And we wait till something happens. Either the weight of the trouble we're going through is going to get bigger and harder and heavier, and that's going to cause us to transform, or the threat and our motivation gets harder and heavier so that we can fly farther. Or we have two ways that we can look at the weight of this situation. We can hold together and we can catapult ourselves into habits and into good things that we want for ourselves that we never really had enough leverage to do before, or we haven't done in a long time. Or we can be heavy, not on the catapult. And we can just sit in our heaviness, in our struggle, by ourselves. Hi, Elaine. So everybody has their video off, and we are all using the chat. Okay? All together. Great. Okay. I'll explain later about why the video off. Okay. So everybody feeling me? Now I'm going to ask you guys before I take one more step forward on this. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to catapult yourself to feeling better and avoid the buildup and buildup and buildup and buildup of negative habits and stress that we could all fall prey to right now. Everyone's putting 1s in. I have you. You have each other. Every single one is somebody standing here beside you. Let's really go over why this is so worth it. Proven facts. We cannot afford to all of us Jewish mothers in the world be getting sick and falling like flies. When you have an elevated stress response, fight, flight, freeze, like we've all had in the first few weeks, your body is amazing. It knows exactly how to break down and store that trauma so that you can react in emergency mode or protect yourself, assuming that this threat is going to leave. And then you're going to be able to break it down and get better. I mean, I gave myself some rope, as somebody said. I gave myself some leeway at the beginning. I was like, I don't know if I'm doing any work. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Like, I'm going to eat what's in the house. I didn't even know there would be food on the grocery store shelves. Right? But now we see that this is going to be continuing to move forward. This is going to not be a one and done thing. We have to be able to find ways to process and nourish as we go. Our cup is cracked. But if we don't keep pouring into it, we're just going to have an empty cup. But if we can find some duct tape and we keep pouring into that cup while we learn how to find the super glue and which super glue and how to do it, we're all going to be able to change not just our experience of what's happening around us, but we're going to be able to be a light to the people in our circle of influence as well. I'm really humbled and honored. I have chills that all of you are here right now, because every single one of you is a light already. The fact that you had enough energy to get on this call already speaks very highly of you. So what are we going to do? What's your biggest concern? Okay. That we should focus on first. This is our, give and take here. What do you want to focus on first? How to just stop the weight gain that's going to impact your blood sugar, that's impacting your cholesterol, that's going to impact future heart disease and cancer risk? Or do you want to talk about how to boost your regular immunity to all of the winter coughs and colds and migraine headaches and constant exhaustion, TMG, where your jaws hurting in the morning because you're clenching at night, acid stomach? Okay, so we have column one, which is like long-term, real weight-related, stress-related diseases, versus number two, immediate concern, stress-related symptoms you probably have. Number one, long-term, weight-related issues. Number two, short-term, I need to be able to not feel like bile coming up in my throat, right? Like, which way do we want to go first? Okay, I see a one. Come on, guys, give me some feedback as to which way you guys want to go first. We can cover both. Anybody else have a vote? Okay, so we're going to start with one. We all acknowledge that being at a healthier weight is a really important indicator of overall health and well-being. We know this, and in fact, I just got sent, I have to read something to you. The most beautiful book that I was asked to give like my opinion on and help promote if I liked it. And it's a book, like a halacha Torah book, all about the mitzvah of taking care of the body. And it's really beautiful. I've only read the first chapter, but there was just one thing that I wanted to share with you guys. And I promise we're going to be super, together. Body and soul are fused together in a partnership, the one carrying and the other guiding. When the partnership is harmonious, the behema is the vehicle of the B'Tselem. The body is the vehicle of the soul. The harmony is the Torah ethic of body-soul balance. By design, the body's drives are strong, for our B'Tselem's potential is only realized through the behema. What does that mean? That means that the potential healing that you can do using your body, the hugs you're going to give your children, the time and physical attention, all the cooking you're doing maybe for yourself or for other people, keeping your house clean, showing up at your job, driving to just go get groceries or go get your medicine. All of that is being done with your body. There is nothing you're going to ever accomplish in this world without your body. Okay? So we have to stop the weight gain, because the weight gain slows down our body. It slows down and impacts every single miraculous area of our body. Okay? And so we want to do it. And if you've put on a few pounds over the last few weeks, you're not alone. Okay? Chatati, me too. Okay? And it's not for a lack of trying, giving myself a little leeway, but really trying. And it's straight up stress response, stress hormones, not sleeping well, right? Being constantly re-triggered, every conversation, and not fully engaging like up here with what I need to do to be able to come back. So for me, I look at weight gain as I'm not okay. If I am not gaining weight and I'm maintaining my weight, I am using enough of my tools, and obviously I'm happy and harmonious. Like I can see I'm functioning well. The weight for me personally, I don't know about you, is the first thing that's the warning sign. It's the canary in the coal mine. You're not handling things so well. And so the second it started going up, which was last weekend, I jumped into motion. I reached out to somebody I trust to start keeping a food journal again, like more. I got some water. I looked at what I was eating. I started like looking at different exercises I could be recommitting to that'd be more. And then like it did nothing because it was like, oh, this is even so overwhelming. I'm already overwhelmed. This is not helpful. And that's what happens to a lot of us when we say, okay, I want to stop waking. So remember I told you we're going to make a list of what we want to stop doing, what we want to start doing, and what we want to do more of. And this is really the best way to find manageable things that we can do. Okay, so we are going to collaborate on this board together. And let's be really honest and let's put in the chat a little bit together. Okay, now you can add here a sticky note right here. What, or you can write it in the chat. What's something to stop waking, you know, that you need to stop doing? Something reasonable, something manageable, something that you know your health for the future, your health for how you're going to be able to dance at the next kid's wedding, the bar mitzvahs, the life, quality of life you're going to have. It depends on stopping to do this thing that you're doing. What's something, put something in. Oh, great. Somebody knows how to use this. Somebody's putting in, which is going to continue doing. Okay. What's something you're going to stop doing? Sitting all day. Excellent. So then move that over to, yeah, stop doing. There we go. Okay, sitting all day. Amazing. Sitting all day. Okay. Now start thinking about what's something small, reasonable that you want to start doing. If you're not going to be sitting all day, what are you going to start doing? Right? This is cool how we can all work on it together. It's very exciting. I see everyone's names. I'm getting very excited. I'll give you guys one for me. Would be it would be something I really need to stop doing. Starting my day with coffee. I really need to make sure that I'm having water, eating something before my coffee. I did do it today, but gosh, starting our day with coffee is terrible for our blood sugar. It really leans right into that negative adrenal response, man. And when you wake up in the morning and you just don't feel like yourself and there's all this stuff in the air, like I just want to go straight for that cup of coffee. So definitely I'm putting down in the stop section. Okay. Going first to that cup of coffee. And I'm also going to stop. Well, I did stop this already, but I will tell you that it took all last week to this week finally. This past week, I had my first week of not eating food after dinner, like only tea or sugar-free sucking candies from Dr. John's. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them on iHerb. They're amazing. They're high in fiber. They have no sugar. They're easy on the stomach. They're not bad for your teeth. I'll put the name in the chat. Dr. John's sugar-free lollipops. And like one lollipop takes me a long time to eat. Ooh, somebody said stop buying baked goods for Shabbos. Okay, I'll write that down for you. Stop buying. Okay. Excellent. Stop snacking between 4 and 5. So that's a great question. So okay, stop snacking between 4 to 5. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Anybody else have one last thing that they want to add to the stop section? And then we will move on to the start section. Now remember, you guys got to make these things, like don't take on too much because again, like you're already in trauma. You are in trauma. Okay. And so it's really, really important that these are really, really baby steps. Okay. Super important. Being on your phone all day. Yes. Okay. Justifying treats. Okay. What does that mean? Justifying treats. Saying if I'm going to have a treat, I'm going to have a treat, but there's no extra reason, yes, no, why, this is the moment, right? It's going to be, but I'm telling you, be kind, be compassionate. Okay. This isn't, oh, 6 months after the trauma is happening. This is a time where we are constantly being re-triggered and re-triggered and re-triggered. And we're going to talk about how to help positively process things better. Okay. Let's move into the start category. What's something that you know that you could start doing that would really stop the weight gain and be something positive for you? Something really doable. Okay, what's the most doable thing you can think of to start doing? 4 to 5 liters of water. Now, if you've been struggling to do this, ask myself, is this really the most doable thing I can start doing? On one hand, it is, right? But how are you going to make it as absolutely doable as possible? For me, if I don't have the water filled up and set up for me at the beginning, it's very unlikely that I'm going to succeed in drinking all my water right now, because I could stay for hours just with that same bottle. So knowing that I have the bottles prepared the night before, that I have, the big 1.5 liters here in Israel, I lost myself, seltzer bottles filled up, and they're all waiting for me in the fridge. I've been doing 2 packets of berry iced tea, berry tea in a water bottle with 2 packets of stevia for 1.5 liters, and it just sits cold like iced tea in the fridge all day. And then I can just refill my bottle, that I know that I'm going to get in enough water. So it's a very practical thing. Now, I will highly recommend the water as something you can start, even if it's, I'm going to drink 8 cups of water today. Because if you're drinking maybe 2 cups, maybe 4 to 5 liters is a lot for you. That's like, 12 cups a day to 15 cups. So, but maybe you really, really want to start with, I'm only honestly drinking 4 cups of water today. I'd like to get to 8 to 10. Right? Like, what else can you really do? Plan a healthy snack for the afternoon. Okay. Oh, I can't read what this person wrote. Say, eating in bed, going to sleep by 10 p.m. You want to, what is this? Sitting in bed and going to sleep 10 p.m. Okay. We said plan a healthy snack. So what is a snack that you can now have planned? But right now with us, what is the healthy snack you're going to eat? Right? Don't leave it in the air. Okay. What is a healthy snack that you can eat? Somebody who said sitting all day, what's one positive thing you could start that would get you moving? Instead of sitting all day, what could you do? A red pepper and cheese with a teaspoon of maple syrup and cinnamon. Sounds delicious. Delicious. Great. I would suggest making that snack at 12:01, like when you're eating lunch, and so that it sits ready for you in that hard moment. I find that to be a huge difference. Don't wait till you're in the crisis to do the thing. Okay. Who has something else that they want to start, or a question? You can unmute yourself if you have a question about this process, or if you're feeling any sense of overwhelm. Okay. We are going to do some tapping in a minute to help kind of release any resistance we're having to anything we're writing down. But in the meantime, if you do have anything going on, please Unmute yourself, ask if you want any help. Taking breaks from your computer job. Okay, try to be specific in what you want to do on that break. Okay, it's something specific. So you want to take a break, but for how long? Make it measurable. I want to take a 10-minute break. I want to take a 5-minute break, right? Every hour. I want to set an alarm on my phone where every hour I'm reminded to take a 15-minute break or a 5-minute break or every 3 hours, right? Try to make it really concrete and doable, because if you say, okay, I'm going to take a break every 2.5 hours, but you notice that actually gets you in the zone and you're able to take a break every hour, then it's bonus, right? It's not stressful. So keep these goals very, very small. This isn't you on your best day with normal crap going on. Excuse my language. This is you in a difficult time. Okay. One of the beautiful things that we're going to be doing in the Rise group is that it's going to be a daily check-in from me it's supposed to be on WhatsApp, but I'm very much considering moving it to Telegram, depending on who signs up, just because of security. So it's going to be a group, whether it's on WhatsApp or Telegram. And I'm going to be sending a message every single day, a voice note, and anybody who wants can be food journaling, and I will be giving you personalized feedback, but it will be anonymous and it will go to the group so we can really learn from each other. So each person doesn't have to send to everybody what they're eating if you choose to keep a food journal. But I do want you guys to take pictures of what you're eating and put it in the chat, because I know, like, I saw somebody making something and then I made it, and it really does inspire us when we're feeling very demotivated. It gives us something good, something positive. You drink your water, you post a picture of your water bottle, little things like that. It gamifies it a little bit, and gosh, we could all use something a little lighter. Why? Why is it healthy right now to do something a little lighter? Well, I'm going to tell you something really interesting. I've been doing somatic, like, healing release, right? So instead of doing more intense workouts, while I was in America, I did not gain any weight during this incredibly, horribly stressful time, but my stomach was distended. It looked like I was 3 months pregnant. It was so embarrassing because I had all this stress. It was churning like gas. And then when I started doing these somatic release moves, so now I still put on 5 pounds, but my stomach is still flatter, and I don't feel this bursting, gassy bloatiness all the time. Okay, and why? One of the things that you do on this is you cry and you cry and you cry while you're doing these movements. You will relax your body and you allow yourself to let go. But I was feeling sadder and sadder and sadder as I was crying all the time. And one day I smiled while I was shaking and crying, instead of like putting my face down into this like agony face. And my body continued to shake and I continued to cry. But all of a sudden, that feeling of deep, like, oh, left. When you smile, when you laugh and your body shakes, try it right now. Try it intentionally. You feel that? You feel that shake in the body, that tremor? That's actually the body releasing stress. The same way crying releases stress. And there's a place, and we want to be crying, but sometimes that grimace, if you put your face up while you're crying, literally it changes the complete neurotransmitter conversation that is being sent to your entire body. And you feel that release without the same heaviness. Because when you're crying and you're so sad, your brain starts creating thoughts to justify why you're sad and stressed. No, we all know why we're sad and stressed. We're already stressed about stuff that's already happened in the past that we didn't finish processing. Things that I've been hearing in my one-on-one conversations with guys is things like, everything I'm doing feels wrong. I'm trying to be helpful, and then I find out the thing I did wasn't really helpful, especially around the home and with children and with spouses. I was doing this thing, and then I heard this thing isn't good, and then I tried this thing, and I heard that thing wasn't good, and then they didn't like it, and actually hurt his feelings, and all of this stuff is happening. And so there's the regular trauma that we're going through, and then there's us trying to be loving parents and spouses and friends and just not being able to do it. Not a crier ever. So first of all, you should know you're not alone. All that generally means is that it's held in the body differently. And I was also not a crier. And by allowing myself to cry, it was allowing myself to feel it in the body. And so there's a lot of really great, like even free tools on YouTube. I can send you if you write to me or send me an email after this, or if you join Rise, I will send you in the group for everyone to benefit from. There's a lot of these somatic release things, and they allow the body to shake. And then if you have anything stuck, you might notice yourself crying, and it might be a release for you. But it could be that you feel that shaking, that release of tension, that release of stress in the body in other ways. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with not being a crier, but there is something if it's like us repressing our feelings into our body. So how do you know if right now you've been repressing your feelings into your body and then creating the response? So if you're finding that you like need to be chewing something all the time, do you find that you're just feeling like you need to have something in your mouth, especially maybe like in the afternoon or the evening? So a lot of our stress is in our jaw. And as women, jaw stress is the same as our hip and pelvic floor stress. So that affects all of our hormones. We're constantly clenching, even though we don't know it. Even right now, if I pay attention, I feel like I'm actually sitting with my legs tucked under, like in a clenched position, because we are constantly under stress right now, and our body is constantly responding. So it's noticing it, taking a deep breath and releasing. Let's all try it together. I'm going to share one move with you right now. If you're feeling a lot of tension in your neck and in your shoulders, and again, if you're hunching over your phone or you're hunching over, one of the reasons that we like to eat is it makes us sit up and digest properly when our digestive system's stopping when we're under stress. So it also leads to overeating. So let's do this, and it's going to help you not be overeating. So I want you to actually grab the top of your ear, and not like hard enough to really hurt yourself, but grab the top of your ear. This is why your video isn't on. And I want you to move your head up and down. And really try to just take some deep breaths. You're not doing anything scary right now. You're in the company of people who feel safe enough to do this. Okay. And now we're going to just move our head side to side a little bit and just pull up on the ear. And just let your neck and your head fall side to side. Pull it with your ear. And let go and see how you feel that in the body. Okay. See how you feel that in the body. Do you feel a difference one side than you do on the other side? Hi, Stacy. Welcome to our workshop. Please do me a favor.
Thank you.
Mute yourself and turn off your video. We are working in the chat, and we are working on this board. And right now I'm teaching a tool for releasing tension in the jaw and in the upper neck, like trap area. So now we're going to do the other side. We're going to grab the ear with these two fingers, and we're going to pull it up. And we're going to go up and down. And just take deep breaths. And what this does is this is really actually forcing your body to not clench and releasing tension. And this is good to do to some like quiet music just a few times a day. And then move your head Slowly, side to side. Deep breaths. Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize talking to you how much stress I was just carrying right now. So we've talked about some things we want to stop so that we stop this week. And we talked about some things we want to start. Now, what's something that you're really proud of that you've actually been doing for yourself that you want to continue? What is something that you've been doing that you truly want to continue? Amazing. You've been eating properly, Esther. Phenomenal. This week, I've also been eating properly. So let's write that down. Eating properly. Okay, more or less. Okay. This whole thing. So what is something else you want to, somebody wants to continue? Taking a drawing class. Amazing. I've been working out with my daughter. Up, someone's been else has been exercising regularly. My daughter picked, I usually like have very specific workouts I do from a company that I know, that I like, whatever. And my daughter came up with this workout that she really wanted to do. Oh, I don't know why that's happening. Bring to front. There we go. And so we have been, and so I let her pick this series of workouts. They're actually excellent, but they're not where I usually work out, but we are doing it side by side together with my daughter. And it really makes me smile, and it really makes me feel really proud of her and proud of myself. And we've been doing it in the evening. So therefore we're not snacking at night, and we're drinking tea, and we feel more empowered because we're doing the exercise in the evening. And I've never been in my whole life an exercise at night person. I'm always a morning person. But I'll tell you, in the morning, I feel stiff. I've been like doing a little light stretching in the morning, and then in the evening doing a workout. And it's been really great for me. Not in my usual thing, but something I want to continue. Okay. So we're going to pause here before we get into the other things that we talked about. And feel free, if you want to talk, to come on video or to ask a question on what we've covered so far in the chat. Okay. What's something that you want to ask about what we've covered so far, whether it's about your mental health, whether it's about the stress response, whether it's about things, how really we don't need to do huge changes. It's really just looking at something we want to stop, something we want to start, something we want to continue, and making it really doable and doing it together as a group. Anybody have a question? How could this help? You can send me privately if you're worried about putting in the chat. Okay. Taking breaks from your computer. Okay. If you need help making your start or stop more concrete, right? Because if you did a stop, what are we going to do instead? So what are we going to do instead of that thing? If you have a question and you want to discuss it, put it in the chat. Let me know. You have me here for any help you need. How do you practically maintain or start anything when constantly re-triggered? Okay. Thank you for asking the question. Okay. So how do we stop or start anything when we're constantly re-triggered? This is honestly what awareness is about. When we put our head in the sand, and we don't look at what we're doing, and we don't look at how it impacts us, then we are at the mercy of our triggers. But when we know and we accept that we are going to be re-triggered on this issue, we can start to look at it and create more positive and advanced coping skills And at the same time, we can protect ourselves from the thing we want to stop doing. So for example, if I wanted to stop eating at night when I was eating dinner so late after doing all these other things, I realized that I had to make sure that I was having, dinner earlier and that I had my Lily's hot cocoa, my sugar-free candies, I had my tea, I had accountability in my house of, guys, I really don't want to be doing this. I'm not doing that. And therefore I was re-triggered very often. But the most dangerous things are not in my reach during that time. And I'm aware, oh yeah, now this is what triggered feels like. And then can let yourself start to process things as they come. When you're triggered by something, the step one is being flooded. You can't think, you can't react, you want to lash out, you are flooded. Who knows? Put a 1 in the chat if you recognize what I'm saying about being flooded, right? With emotion when you're triggered. It can be rage, it can be anger, it can be fear, right? And you just, in that first moment, you are flooded. Okay. So when we're flooded, the only thing that you can really do before you start shoving food in your mouth or whatever is to start to take deep breaths. Very often we want to create a different reality in the brain. So we want to take a deep breath. And then what I want you to do is kind of start to make a vibrating noise in your throat. Puff out your cheeks. So. That air kind of comes out your nose. So try it again. See, I know nobody else wants to do that live on camera other than me, but your video is off, but try it again. You might find that moving a little bit, like when you're flooded, like you just want to punch something, right? Or you just want to cut a little ball, but moving also just helps your body to process that flood. Because what happens? We numb the flood. We're not willing to do something silly in the moment that will break the flood. We just want to numb. And that means go straight to the pantry and put as much food in our mouth, or go to the TV, or go to the phone and just numb it down or distract ourselves out of it while our body's experiencing it till it passes. The thing is, then instead of passing through us, it gets stuck within us. And that's where we continue to build chronic health issues that could plague us, God forbid, for years. And we're not going to allow that to happen to each other. We're going to hold hands. We're going to make funny faces. Something else that you can do, just simple tapping. This is what flooded feels like. I am so flooded right now. Oh my gosh. What that person just said to me, I'm so flooded right now. I can't believe she said that. Can't believe he did that. How could they do that? This is what flooded feels like. I love and accept myself. I love and accept myself. This is what flooded feels like. 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 And let it move through in your body. When we talk about things we want to start doing in order to, we are going to be re-triggered and re-triggered. So it's really important that we start to build and make these things normal. Drinking a glass of water, 2 cups of water is equal to taking 10 deep breaths. That's really cool. 2 glasses of water calms the nervous system like 10 deep breaths. Want to drink some water, want to bring it down. And then very often, we're still flooded these days. I had one day this week, something happened. I took a hot bath. I did some somatic things. I did 3 other things. And then the second I moved on to start doing something else, like it was back again. That's part of what's normal now. And so being able to have people you talk with, coming to RB Tufflin class, like someone mentioned, have a wonderful bar mitzvah. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Okay. So I hope this was really helpful for you and that you enjoyed this so far. Any questions on what else that we've talked about so far? Did you try any of the exercises? So put any questions you have in the chat, and I have 3 very special scholarships to give away. So please stay on with us. We're going to talk in a minute. We answer questions about RISE and what's available, what's here, and how we are actually going to be able to implement these things. Because like I said at the very beginning, talk is cheap. We can put up on a whiteboard, but if we're not going to hold each other accountable and we're not going to check in and we're not going to check in on each other, then it's going to be very hard to implement. Okay. And really, it's critically important that we share these things. Okay. Okay. No, that's not the screen I want to be sharing. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Okay. Thanks for your patience. Okay. It was very, very important to me that prices be upfront. Right now, everybody is tight. I have $300 gift certificates to give out to people who are serious, who want to do this and can't afford it. So what's happening in our RISE accountability cohort? We are going to be getting messages from me every single day to keep you going. That means you have the opportunity to respond and have a WhatsApp or Telegram conversation with me and in the group. You're going to post pictures of your food and different things you're doing in order to gain momentum, in order to gain excitement, in order to start to laugh our way through what's happening and know that every single positive thing we're doing and continue doing really matters. Every cup of water you drink, even if you don't get to your 4 to 5 liters or whatever your goal is that day, every single cup is a win. Okay? Every single break you take from work, every single time you catch yourself on your phone and you want to stop and you stop, every single one of those times is a win. They are a triumph. And I want to celebrate you for them. Because when you don't, and we only make these huge goals, I have to be perfect, I have to lose 30 pounds, I have to do all this, it's not going to happen right now. What can happen is the next right choice, the next better decision. You also are going to have a weekly Zoom like this. We are going to have a once weekly Zoom, and it's going to have educational content on either nutrition or somatic healing, or we'll do a workout together that's, you know, releasing tension in the body. It's going to have something based on your needs in the group. Once a week, you're going to see each other on Zoom, and we're going to talk. And you're going to be able to share what's going on with you, and you're going to be able to ask me questions. If you choose to food journal and be really just accountable and own everything you're eating, and you want, what's the next thing I should stop, start, or and what's the one thing I should continue each week, you will have the opportunity to send them to me privately, and publicly I will give a general message with each person's feedback. So let's say you send me, you know, your journal and you're not drinking any water. I could be like, okay, our first step is to really increase to 2 cups of water before you eat every time. Okay. And it's not going to say, Lindsay, you need to do that. It's going to say, these are the top tips for the week based on what I'm seeing. And I'll send you something if you ask me like, oh, wait, was this for me? Or was this meant for me? No, we really going to learn a lot from what other people share. Okay. It's really transformational. You don't know how many times I've heard someone be like, oh, I didn't even know I should ask that. Like, ooh, interesting. I didn't even think about that being an issue. Oh, I would love to try that tip or something else. Okay. And it's month to month. You can choose to sign up for however many months you want, but really, if you choose to leave at any time, as long as you let me know by the 7th of the month, then you can be canceled for the following month. So this is no long-term commitment. Who can know what's going on beyond this month? And we'll see where this group goes, where it takes us. For $300 monthly, okay? You're going to also get a 50-minute one-on-one session with me. These are really powerful and very, very helpful because you're going to have a full 50 minutes to talk with me about your personal situation. I'm going to get to know you even better. You're going to have a deeper connection with me. You can ask more personal things you might not feel like asking on the group or go into greater detail. And we will include in that really making sure we have also a special menu planning session as well. And that's going to be really helpful to just get a collection of, 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, 3 dinners for the month that you like. And then it's up to you, right? How much you use them. But repeating is one of the best ways to reduce stress. The more you eat the same thing, it's proven it literally reduces anxiety when you're not even anxious about food. It just reduces anxiety about everything else. When you're eating the same things, you don't have to always make new decisions. Okay. I totally understand. Okay. Yes, I hear someone is sending. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. So beautiful. And again, this is really no matter where you are, talk to me if you have a specific financial issue. $750 a month. This is what I normally take for one-on-one coaching, and I'm doing it by one-on-one coaching. Plus, you have the ability to access the group. Now, in my one-on-one coaching, I normally you have to have a 6-month commitment because amazing things happen when you're all in. Right now, if you feel like you really need 50 minutes every single week where we will cook together, we will organize your pantry together, we will go over your food journals together, whatever it is you need to do in that 50 minutes to move, to stop doing something, to start doing something, or to continue doing something, I am yours for 50 minutes every single week, as well as having the group, as well as having the access, as well as having the group Zoom. So this is what I felt was the absolute met what I thought are the top needs, which is community, which is sisterhood, which is fun, which is having somebody in your life who you can just talk to about food related crap, because in everything else there's someone you could talk to, your neighbors about the war, and you could talk to them about this, you could talk this, but sometimes we need someone to talk to about what we're eating and our frustrations, and we know it's hurting us. And gosh, people are like, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that you drink your water. I would love to hear that you drink your water and celebrate you. It truly brings me joy to see and hear that people took any step to better their health, because I know it's a step that you've made to better your life and the life of every single person in your circle of influence. Thank you guys so much. In 15 minutes, I'm going to be teaching a bitachon class. Free. I teach it every single week. If you are ready to rise with me and you need to set a time to discuss which package is right for you, please schedule a call with me. Reach out to me right away. I'd like to start this up as soon as possible so that we can start really setting ourselves up together for success. I need it. I know you need it. And I know that it's going to be good for your body and your soul. So with all my love and all my best wishes, I want to open the floor up and answer any questions that you have about the program. Okay. Amazing. Some people are already in and have to log off because they have other calls. Yay. I'm very excited to see some of you who are already going to be joining the program. Anybody else have a question about pricing, about what's included, about whether or not this is a good fit for you? If you want to ask me now. Otherwise, you can always create a one-on-one call. Any questions about payment or anything else about what's included? Okay. Amazing. Have a wonderful night and so much love.